Hi, I'm Jim Brangenberg, the host of the I Work For Him radio program right here in Tampa Bay. I have a radio program because of Oz Hillman. 2006, a buddy of mine in Atlanta forwarded me a daily devotional and said, "Hey Jim, I know you're struggling in your job, maybe you should read this daily devotional." And I read the devotional. It was TGIF. And I'm like, wow, I'm going to subscribe to that. And so I started getting Oz Hillman's daily TGIF devotional, and it started transforming me. It really was a paradigm shift for me. I never had been taught in church that my workplace could be my place of ministry. I was always taught that there was the pastor and then there was the workplace guys, and us workplace guys were just supposed to support the pastors. And so in 2008, as the economy started to crash, and I had this basis of the workplace ministry because I've been getting these daily devotionals, I started sharing those with my bosses. I had 4 bosses at the time, and as the world got bad and my bosses started losing millions of dollars, they started being open to the message of Christ. And I happened to be on a plane trip with one of my bosses, and I'd shared one of the devotionals from Oz Hillman, and we got in this deep conversation about her having a problem, not with God, but with Jesus. And we had this incredible conversation. And then after landing our plane in Moline, Illinois, we headed off to a meeting we had in Iowa City, and we almost died in a car wreck. And as we're on the shoulder, I looked at my boss and I said, you know, if we'd have died in that car wreck, I'd have been okay with that because I know where I'm going. But I believe we're alive today because you would have gone to hell. And because of the basis of sharing those daily devotionals, the TGIF devotionals, that woman came to Christ a couple of months later because God had gotten her attention and used TGIF on a daily basis, and it transformed the lives of my boss and another coworker, and today it's transforming the lives of hundreds of thousands of people across the country. But I'm on the radio today because of that paradigm shift that I recognize that my workplace is my mission field.
Hey, my name is Kathy, and I love the TGIF devotion. For me, it is such a great companion in my quiet time. As I journey through life, it is a great signpost in some areas, a mile marker in other areas. It gives direction, it gives encouragement, it gives strength, and I just want to really encourage you to sign up and enjoy TGIF every morning.
My name is Aaron Smith. I'm the founder of Pecora Capital. I live here in Zurich with my wife, and we're expecting our first child in December. I had the opportunity to meet Oz Hillman after reading his devotionals for a little bit over a year. And we talked and we decided to structure an event here called the Zurich Leadership Forum. And at that time, I sort of had the expectation that a lot of people would come and a lot of interesting ideas about leadership and success would be portrayed in a godly context and seen through a spiritual lens. But I never envisioned that over 20 people would pray the prayer of salvation and invite Jesus Christ into their heart. And so I'm just so blessed to work alongside of Oz Hillman. You know, Jesus died for us, and so we live for Him. Jesus rose again according to the Scriptures, and therein lies our hope. And so we just have this conviction that the King is coming, and we have to prepare for Him. We have to prepare His bride. So I'm just so happy and so blessed to partner in the gospel with Oz Hillman. He's been a blessing to me, and I can only encourage you to download the Today God Is First devotional if you haven't already done so. Thank you. Bless you.
Hey, I'm Terry, and I work as a producer in Hollywood, and I just want to tell you that I read TGIF every morning. It's a great way to start my morning, sets the day in front of me with great pearls of wisdom, and it's led to a wonderful relationship with Oz Hillman and his organization, and I encourage you all to do the same. It's a great way to keep yourself grounded in business.
Well, it was back in 2001 that I started reading TGIF, and back then I was president of a Christian businessmen's organization that I felt God had put me in for a season, but I felt the season was coming to an end, and I wrestled and I wrestled with it. I was really struggling, and I felt like I just didn't have the grace for it anymore. And one day I woke up and I felt that day that I just can't do another day of this. And I remember opening TGIF, and the word for that day was, I remember it was called booster rockets. And you were talking to us about how God uses certain things in your life to bring you to a certain stage, to take you up to a certain height. And sometimes to move higher, you've got to release that booster rocket. And it just spoke directly to what was my situation. And I knew that God was saying I need to get out of where I was to be able to move further. And that day I did resign. And God took me to another level in a different organization and new experiences. And it was just interesting how that had come on that day. And it was so specific to what I needed to hear.